Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay, there we are. Now it's working. As we got everybody wrapped up here going into qualifying for the Roughneck Racing. Why does that say Xfinity? It's not Xfinity, it says Madness Money. Roughneck Madness Money here tonight from Kentucky Speedway. We're here in trucks. Should be a great night of racing here as we get ready for 125 laps. We got a few of them coming out on the track. Here you see Kyler Wynn. If we could just get a picture of him out on track. There we go. Oh, man, we're struggling with trading paints here tonight. Hopefully it updates the way it's supposed to. Oh, we'll have to give it a moment. Here. I see a few drivers out there. Chris Ramsey out there in the number 13. You got Chris Belton out there in the number 52. I see that the time's starting to tick in. Rolling down here through off of corner number 1. Back out onto that backstretch. There you see the trading paint starting to come to life. You see that Roughneck Racing on the hood of that machine, if I saw it correctly. Keith Malikoff. Kenneth McCullum. Down there on the bottom, as you see, rolling there off the corner. Alex Hill, Stephen Miles down here on the inside. He rolls off of pit road. John Darnell. Danny Barnes. Danny Barnez. Nicholas Warner. They all come slide through here off the corners. What a night of racing we have. up here in the chat. They know we're here and live, and see if we can get stuff situated as they are rolling down through here. Down there off the corner, there you see the number 29 up Nicholas Warner. Mark Wandell down there on the inside. Come bringing it to a stop. Sometimes coming in there, you see there's 18 drivers so far that have come through, but we still got some others that are still trying to make something happen to put a time in. There you see McCullough. As time runs out on qualifying. All right, here we go. Starting grid. We can get it to come up here. It's going to be Dylan Basin starting out there in the front row on pole, with Alex Hill there in second. Row number 2 on the inside, that's going to be Kyler Wynn out there in that third spot. On his outside in fourth is going to be Stephen Miles. Down there in row number 3 is Nicholas Warner in fifth, with Cameron on the outside there in sixth, with Sterling Steese down there on the inside of row number 4 in seventh, with Chris Belton in eighth, driving at number 52 here tonight. Dylan Jones will roll off in ninth inside row number 5, with Kenneth McCullough out there to his outside in 10th. Row number 6, that's going to be Freddie Bassinez out there in 11th, with Chris Ramsey to his outside in 12th. In 13th tonight, inside row number 7, that's going to be the number 99 of John Darnell III, and to his outside in 14th is Mark Vondell in 14th. Row number 8 in the inside, that's going to be Danny Bonez. To his outside is Jerome Osborne out there, Jeremy Osborne out there in 16th. Jeffrey Morrison out there in 17th. To his outside there of row number 9 is going to be Tyler Vickery. Vincent Guru out there in 19th position. Hunter Hastings out there in 20th. Christopher McCullough out there in 21st. James Wagner in 22nd. Steve Sizemore rolls off tonight, 23rd. Pete Dillon in 24th. Rolling out here in 25th tonight. Has gone up. Why is that? Oh, man, that shouldn't be right. We got Logan York there in 26th. I know what happened. Stupid iRacing thing doesn't let me do what I need to do. Chase Mistrada out there in 27th. Forgot about that there tonight as they changed their spectating thing around. All right, everybody rolling off of the pit road here. As they roll on down here off the corner. Everybody getting set to go. Head on down through here, getting ready to start. Stephen Miles out there in front. Nicholas Warner there in second. Ace truck is off. We're going to be getting green flag here. Should be anyway. I'm a little confused. Going one more lap here. Looks like they're just trying to get everybody sorted out. All right, here we go. Off of turn one they go. Heading on down in here. What a great night for racing here at Kentucky. As we're on board here, coming through turn number one with Stephen Miles coming down here off of the back stretch. Heading down here into corner number three. Sterling Thies back here in second. I got Dylan Jones back here in third. And working here off the corner. Side by side, Dylan Jones and Freddie Bassinez fighting over third spot. I mean, look back through the field, a lot more trying. Okay, I'm very curious now, as I thought mandatory stuff was on, and we got a truck out there that has no stickers on the front end. So try to figure out how that's even possible. As we take a look at that. Is that number 30? No, that's not the 30. There's the 30 of James Wagner. Who the heck is out there without any stickers on the truck? That's the 99. That's interesting to see how that's all blacked out on that machine. Really, really interesting. I didn't think that was possible. Okay, the stickers are there. It's just very, very blacked out. As they work down here in the corner number one, as we're on board with John Darnell. And see, there you got Freddie Bassinez back here in about fourth. Trying to find the most excitement going on. Where's our ticker? There it is. 5 laps in. Soon to be 6 laps. They come down here across the start-finish line. There's the 82 of Kyler Wynn. He fights along here. I didn't realize that my mic was yelling there. Sorry about that. My mic apparently is getting goofed up here. All right, down here into the corner. I figured something was up. My mic's been picking things up. All right, how about there? Can we hear me now? Can you hear me now? Up and down, I'm having to figure out where to go. try that. Out here through off of quarter number 4, back down through the front stretch. 8 miles leader right now. We got Sterling there in second. Dylan Jones there in third. Freddie Massinez there in fourth. Right there. Barnett there on the side. Around. Cameron right in. Back here at 8th, Chris Melton there at 9th. Anyone is there is the 10th spot. Chris Ransom in 11th. Christopher McCollum in 12th. Jeffrey Morrison there in 13th. Nicholas Warner there in 14th. Steve Sizemore sitting here 15th right now. He's working in on the outside and then number 18. As he's working around there on the inside. Up that number 29 Nicholas Warner. Now Nicholas down back on the inside. Here comes Dave Flagler up there in the middle of the racetrack. And they work here off the oh no, Dave Flagler gets into it there. And oh no, they get loose. Oh man, what a hit on in there for 29. Caution comes out. Nicholas Warner hits the wall there. Caution is coming out. Still green flag race here onto the back of turn number 1. What a hit there for the 29, though, as he tries to get it rolling there. No caution as of yet, as he's down on the apron. Going to circle it down there into the little on shoot there for pit road. And here comes Dylan Jones back around along with the 17 miles. Yeah, I'm here. All right, down here in corner number 1 and 2. Nicholas Warner had to jump to the pits as they have to fight there. Dylan Jones there in second. Freddie Martinez there in third. Sterling Fleet there fourth. Dylan Mason there in fifth. Alan Field in sixth. Tyler Wynn rolling here in seventh with Chris Belton there in ninth. Chris Ramsey in 10th. Everybody's trying to stay single file here at the moment. As you see a back horizon machine out front, Road to Pro there in for the 011 of Dylan Jones. We got Freddie Bassinez there in third, Sterling Thies there in fourth, Dylan Mason there in fifth. They work on back through the field, trying to see what battles we got going on. I'm not really seeing much of anything. As we work on through, there you see the James Wagner Welding sponsor machine. That's number 63 of Pete Dillon. Right behind him is the 41 of Jeremy Osborne. As they work on down through off the corner. Oh, here comes the 41. He's going to try to get right at the 63 of Pete Dillon. All right, down here in the corner number 1, Freddie Bassinez is your leader. Dylan Jones is trying to fight back out front. It looks like Stephen Miles is about, got a couple of them blinking in and out there for a moment. Dylan Bassinez out there in fourth. Sizemore and Darnell, there you see the bounce in here. I'm not sure why it kind of does that. We got back here in 21st, James Wagner. Guru not even showing them here on track anywhere. It looks like his times have stopped. As they work on down through into corner number 1 once again. Stephen Miles there in first. Dylan Jones in second. Freddie Bassinez there in third. Dylan Mason there in fourth. Alex Hill there fifth. Sterling Thies there in sixth. Cameron Craighead there in seventh. Tyler Wynn down there on the outside up to 58. Chris Melton. No, I'm sorry. No, that isn't Chris Melton. Chris Melton back a little bit. Trying to figure out who that is. Hey, Chris Melton there in the 52. That has 58 and 48 on the scoreboard. And that is Cameron Craighead. Lap number 20. Here they roll along. Driver doing what they need here. First push there behind the 82 of Tyler Wynn and Cameron Craighead. Right by that is Sterling Thies. And they roll down through the front stretch again. One smooth and Geico restart zone down here. 8 into corner number 1. Down there below goes the 52. Under 17 of Sterling Thies. Chris Melton trying to get that inside the work. When he does so, one at a time being. And pulled off and comes down that back stretch. As now on board here with Chris Melton down here in corner number 3 and 4. Back out here and towards that front stretch. Sterling Thies there in 9. Chris Ramsey there in 10. Christopher McCollum there in 11. Danny Marnez there in 12. Tyler Vickery there in 13. Jeffrey Morrison in 14. Steve Sizemore in 15. Mark Bonnet there in 16. Now we see a few drivers battling for position there. You see the 03 getting to the outside of the 41 of Aaron Sturgey. Osborne. Kevin McCollum trying to hang into it back here. A lot of spread out field. We're now coming up here to about third position. We're on board there, or were on board there with the 011. He's there at the bumper of Dylan Bassett. Or Bassett. Or, out that backtrack, on and up. Now it's 23 on the board. Soon to be 24, 23 being complete. They come here off the course. Stephen Miles still out front. Dylan Mason there in second now. As Freddie Bassinez is falling back a little bit there in that number 51. Alex Hill there in fifth. Tyler Wynn there in sixth. Cameron Craighead in seventh. Chris Melton there 8th. Sterling Thies there in 9th. Chris Ramsey in 10th. Christopher McCollum there in 11th. Danny Marnez there in 13th. Tyler Vickery there in 12th. As he comes up through the field. 5, the 04. I'm sorry, no, 10-5, and Danny Barnez was gained number 7. Down in the corner number 1 and 2. Once again, we'll find out here. They work here off the corner. That is corner number 4. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the racing action so far. Have any critiques for us here at Lincoln Park TV? Let us have it. Down here through off left corner number 4. And across that front stretch. Lots of drivers hanging it out here. Dylan there in third as near pull of the 51 of Freddie Bassinez. Let us know in the chat if you got somebody you're cheering on specifically. We'll make sure we try to highlight everybody though here tonight. Tyler Wynn here in 6th, Cameron Craighead here in 7th, Chris Melton there in 8th, Sterling Thies there in 9th, Chris Ramsey in 10th, Christopher McCollum there in 11th, Tyler Vickery back here in 12th, Danny Barnez there in 13th, Jeffrey Morrison there 14th, Steve Sizemore 15th, John Darnell in 16th, Mark Vondell in 17th tonight, with Jeremy Osborne there 18th, Kenneth McCollum there in 19th. All right, down here in corner number 3. Mark Vondell there in 17th. front stretch. Coming through the trioval here at Kentucky. As they got them side by side, that's the 41 and the 03. Kenneth McCullough Jr. taking that spot away from Jeremy Osborne. Pete Dillon in the number 63 sits back here. We've got a few of them trying to make some moves. Not sure what went on there. We're going to try to see if we can catch a moment here. Here comes Chris Ramsey in at number 13, Christopher McCullough. And the 04, Tyler Victory. Rolling down here through turns 1 and 2. Just trying to figure out where the most excitement is. There you're seeing Dylan Mason rolling there off the board. Lap number 30 on the board. Now you're looking at the 51 of Freddie Bassinet. On down here, through off the corner. And here we go. Out here through corner number 3 and 4, back out onto that front stretch. Everybody coming down through over that start-finish line. You're looking there at that 011 of Dylan Jones. He's trying to get up there to the back of the 82 of Kyler Wynn. Kyler Wynn hanging on to 5th position right now. Everybody looking super strong. We only had that one incident that we know of that involved Nicholas Warner in the number 29. End up getting turned and up into the outside fence. Vondell looks to be out as well. No, Vondell is out there in 17th position. Warner down there in 23rd. He is out, as like we said. Pete Dillon in the number 63, sitting in 22nd. Jason Wagner back here in 21st. A couple of those names there toward the bottom of the list. Don't even worry about, for instance, at number 38. Don't even worry about that on the scoreboard. Stephen Miles rolling down here off the corner. Dylan Basin there in 2nd. Alex Hill in 3rd. Freddie Bassinet rolling at number 51 here tonight. Kyler Wynn there in 5th. Dylan Jones there in 6th. And Chris Melton there in 7th as they roll along here. Sterling Thies here in 8th. Chris Ramsey in 9th. Christopher McCullough in 10th. Tyler Vickery in 11th. As they keep rolling off through here. There you see that 000 of Jeffrey Morrison rounding out the top 12. Danny Barnett in 13th. Steve Sizemore back here as we got them side by side there. As John Darnell looks like he's up there on the top side of the racetrack, battling Mark Vondell for that 15th and 16th position. There is the battle for those two as they come here out of the corner. James Wagner down on pit road here at lap number 34. We'll see if we have any others taken here off the corner. Everybody rolls here off corner number 3, or sorry, corner number 2 down the backstretch. Kyler Wynn back here in 5th. He's got Dylan Jones there trying to fight. There you see more drivers coming to pit road in the likes of Christopher McCullough, Danny Barnez, Tyler Vickery rolling in. Well, possibly. We'll see here. Looks like it. Hang on there, guys. Don't get too anxious there. They come here off the corner. No, he does not come in. Just slowing up there for the corner. Some of you drivers coming in, pitting. Some other drivers not pitting. Now you see the 17 rolling down pit road. Chris Ramsey in the 13. Steve Sizemore, he's coming in. John Darnell there in the 99. He's rolling down through on the pit road. The 59 there. Mark Wandell, he comes in. Now the leaders all coming in. With Dylan Basin, Alex Hill, Kyler Wynn, Freddie Bassinet, Dylan Jones, Chris Melton all coming in. Tyler Vickery comes in as well. Kenneth McCullough, he stayed out. He's going to bring it around here. Now he comes to pit road this time. That's going to hand the lead over to Vincent Guru for the time being, possibly. He's got to get around here. Passing everybody who's down on pit road. Now he's driving that 59, or I'm sorry, no, the 14 Budweiser machine. And they drive it down there on the inside coming out. There you see Vincent, that's the 13 that was coming out of Chris Ramsey. Steve Sizemore, he's coming there off at corner number 2. And that number 8 machine, Vincent Guru, now on to pit road. Stephen Miles coming off. So could be your leader here, or he's going to come to pit road. I'm trying to figure out who's in and who's been, or who hasn't. Pit completes. Everybody's completed one lap here. Now I found out the stat I was looking for down here off the corner. Stephen Miles up here in front, running the lead right now with Dylan Basin there in second. Brammer and Egghead there in third. Kyler Wynn in fourth. Alex Hill fifth. Going out through the back stretch, there you see Freddie Bassinez and Dylan Jones going to be going at it. Dylan Jones tries to find out if he can get underneath Bo Jangles' machine of Freddie Bassinez. They work down here in the corner number 1. Lap number 39 of 125. Stephen Miles out front, going back there across the backstretch, heading there in the corner number 3. Dylan Basin there in second. Cameron Craighead there in third. Alex Hill in fourth. Skyler Wynn there in fifth. Freddie Bassinez there in sixth. Dylan Jones there in seventh. Chris Melton there eighth. Christopher McCullough back there in ninth. Sterling Thies back there in 10th. And thank you for the subscription there, Corey Wright. Definitely do appreciate that. Chris Ramsey there in 11th. Tyler Vickery in 12th. Jeffrey Morrison in 13th. Steve Sizemore 14th. Danny Barnez there in 15th as everybody comes rolling out of the corner here. As you're looking there at Stephen Miles in that number 24/11 as they come back here across the stripe, down here across the front stretchway. Down here in the corner number 1. Alex Hill in fourth. Cameron Craighead there in third. Kyler Wynn there in fifth. Freddie Bassinez there sixth. Dylan Jones there in seventh. Christopher McCullough there in eighth. Chris Melton in ninth. Chris Ramsey in 10th. Sterling Thies there 11th. Tyler Vickery in 12th as they come on rolling around here, waiting to see how everything goes. The 000 of Jeffrey Morrison back there in 13th. Lap number 42 clicks onto the board here as they keep on rolling. Down here off of the corner. Everybody doing everything they possibly can to get up there towards the lead. Off of corner number 4 they go. Back out here through 1 and 2. Up there onto the backstretch. Dylan Basin out front as your leader as he got around Stephen Miles, who's running that number 7 machine. Cameron Craighead and that number 48/58. These guys up here toward the front not having the numbers on the truck that I'm quite needing. I see Dylan Mason there in the number 11, but it's driving the 020 on the scoreboard. Stephen Miles running the 24 on the scoreboard, but has truck number 7. Cameron Craighead has the number 48, but is running truck number 58. And on down through off the corner here, number 77 of Alex Hill rolls off. Kyler Wynn here in 5th. Freddie Bassinez there in 6th. Christopher McCullough in 7th. Dylan Jones there 8th. Chris Melton there 9th. Chris Ramsey in 10th. Tyler Vickery there 11th. Sterling Thies there 12th. Jeffrey Morrison there in 13th. Steve Sizemore in 14th. Danny Barnez there in 15th. Those are your top 15 drivers so far tonight. Now we head on down here in the corner number 3, following the legs of Danny Barnez. Just trying to find something exciting here as we're back on board with Dylan Jones here, coming off of turn number 2 as he's following the 52 of Chris Melton down that back straightaway. You see Melton comes off the wall a little bit as Jones keeps it up there towards the top, getting that run down here in the corner number 3. can't quite get around here at the momentum he needs to try to get up there and battle for that 7th position as of yet. Falling back a little bit there off the 52 of Chris Melton, as Chris Melton tries to gain on Freddie Bassinez. Dylan Mason dropping down through. Looking like he had a quick disconnect there for a moment. Kyler Wynn also having some connect drop for some reason. I'm dropping some of these drivers, but not others. I keep rolling here off the corner. Dylan Mason out there in front. Stephen Miles there in second, with Cameron Craighead now up to third. That still falls there in the 4th. Christopher McCollum in 5th. What a night for McCollum, as he is up 16 positions, soon to be 17 if he can get around to 77 of Alex Hill. What a great night for that number 04 machine. As you see, he's got the run there on the outside of the 77. He's going to get the pass coming there off a 2. So he can keep it off the wall. He's got it rolling. All right, off the corner, Dylan Bassinez out there leading the way. As you see Stephen Miles there in second. Cameron Craighead back here. He's got company from, that looks to be the 48 of Craig Miles. As we see a truck get around him. Must be a lap down machine. Work here off the corner. Back out onto that front stretch. We see back here with Chris Melton, just everybody trying to get everywhere as they head on down through here. In the corner number 1 and 2, here at lap number 50. We're about 12 and a half laps away, 13 and a half laps away from halfway. What a great night of racing for the Roughneck Madness Money Series. They head on down through here off the corner. Great night of racing here tonight. Track cams tonight being brought to you by Track Films. As you're on board there with Chris Melton coming down there into the corner. Now we're jumping up here to Chris Ramsey. A little bit of jumping around here. Not sure who we want to be on board with. As we're there with the number 52 Toyota coming down there through the front stretch. Tyler Wynn up there in 5th. Still watching Chris Melton there in the 52 as he's now up to 5th. Dylan Mason dropped back. Now this time, he dropped back into 10th. Now he's back up in the 1st. I see that 58 there of Cameron Craighead sitting there 3rd. Lap traffic, working around it. Freddie Bassinez, he's got a little bit of connection there. As you see Christopher McCollum working down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Work there onto the back stretch. Everybody doing what they can. There you see Christopher McCollum sitting there in 4th. Cameron Craighead sitting in 3rd. Alex Hill back here in 6th. Side by side goes the 13 there, Chris Ramsey. Looking to the inside of that 124 of Tyler Vickery. Seeing if he can get the run. Thanks everybody for tuning in here to FFTv tonight to watch the Roughneck Madness Money Series this Friday evening down here through off of the front stretch, you'll see that number 13 of Chris Ramsey trying to get to the bottom side. Freddie Bassinez up there on the top side. Dylan Jones there in 11th. Stephen Miles there in 2nd. Kramer and Craighead there in 3rd. Christopher McCollum there 4th. Chris Melton there 5th. Everybody works here off everything they can here. Work here off the corner. Stephen Miles there in 2nd. Cameron Craighead 3rd. There you see Christopher McCollum sitting 4th. Chris Melton there 5th. Tyler Vickery as we're on board with him. Coming here through turns 1 and 2 onto the backstretch. Having a great night there for him. He's up 12 spots. Christopher McCollum up 17 spots. He sits there in 4th. Rolling around here at Kentucky. Broward getting all a little bit loose there, coming down there through the front straightaway. That 77 of Alex Hill down there on the inside. 13 there of Chris Ramsey trying to find a way to get around him next. At 124, Tyler Vickery's gone up a few spots. Now we're back on board here with Ramsey. Now we're heading down here off of corner number 4, back out onto that front stretch. Side by side, got the 82 down there on the inside of Kyler Wynn. Kyler Wynn getting up there close to the 13 as they come down there into corner number 1. That battle still rages on between Ramsey and Wynn. Who's gonna win out coming down the backstretch? Looks like that Ramsey's going to at the moment. Right, roll on down here off the corner. Stephen Miles there in 2nd. Cameron Craighead there in 3rd. Christopher McCollum in 4th. Chris Melton there in 5th. Tyler Vickery here in 6th. Chris Ramsey in 7th. Kyler Wynn in 8th. Alex Hill there in 9th. Freddie Bassinez in 10th. Couple laps away from halfway. Cameron Craighead pulls it into pit road. Now we're back on board there with the 52 at Chris Melton down here in the corner number 1. Everybody's single filed out. Let's go ahead and just kind of take a gander at the track map here just to see how spread out everybody is. Because it looks like our biggest competition's around the 82 of Kyler Wynn, as that seems to be where everybody's kind of congregated around. You got some drivers around the 14 and the 04 as they come to pit road. Vincent Garug, he's dropping down there on the pit road. He's coming in earlier. Chris Melton. There you see Christopher McCollum. Dylan Mason still hanging on to the lead with Stephen Miles there in 2nd. Lap number 62. Halfway down the backstretch. Once they get there, they will have it halfway. Now they come here off of turn number 2. Heading down there. The halfway mark has been reached. As Christopher McCullough as coming there through off the corner. Chris Melton there in 4th. Tyler Vickery here in 5th. Christopher McCullough, like we said, up 18 positions now as he works on down through off the backstretch. Tyler Vickery there in 5th. Now you see that 124 coming there in the corner number 3 and 4. Chris Ramsey there in 6th. Working off down here through the corner. James Wagner up to 12th now. Now drop back to 14th. Pete Dillon up 11 spots from where he started. Steve Sizemore, he's currently up 15 spots from where he started. But is a lap down there to the leaders as they come rolling out through. Who's going to be the next one to drop down to pit lane? Everybody there working off of turn number 4. There we see Brady Bassinez, he comes down onto, or leaving the pits now. Dylan Jones, he's coming in. Pete Dillon comes there off of the corner. Then that 63 machine, he's coming around the front, down across the start-finish line. Dylan Jones bringing it into his pit box. Up here off the corner. Everybody rolls along. There you see the 04 of Christopher McCullough. Chris Melton there in fourth. Tyler Vickery there fifth. Chris Ramsey in sixth. Steve Sizemore seventh. Jeffrey Morrison in eighth. Denny Barnez there in ninth. With Sterling Thies there in 10th. They got 66 going around, or sorry, we're on lap number 66 to go around here. You're looking at the 17 of Sterling Thies. A lot of these drivers, big movers here as Steve Sizemore comes here off of turn number 4. He's got in front of him Chris Ramsey as the next truck in front of him. As you see Chris Ramsey rolling there through off of corner number 2. Right behind him, the 14 of Vincent. There's quite a few drivers that have not taken the time to take a second stop yet. Head on down off of the corner, real close there. Here you see a few more trucks kind of battling it out. Not sure who's on lead lap, who's not. You see the 03 there. There's a lap down machine. That's Kenneth McCullough. As Christopher McCullough is up there in second now, as he got around. Working there off the corner. He's looking to the inside. Or no, I'm sorry, he's on the outside. 52 of Chris Melton's working down there on the inside. Dylan Mason there in front as your leader. Running really, really well. As you see there, working up the corner, Stephen Miles here at lap number 69, soon to be 69 in the books. You see here the number 020 of Dylan Mason. Working there off of corner number 4, back out here onto the front stretch. Everybody, what a night here. As you see that 82 getting a lap back possibly. That's Kyler Wynn. Kyler Wynn has made 2 stops. So he's trying to bring it on back up through the field here with 70, with lap number 70 up on the board. Looking there, Chris Melton, Christopher McCullough. Tyler Vickery back here in at 124. You got Steve Sizemore, Jeffrey Morris, and Danny Barnez, Sterling Thies, and Chris Ramsey all on pit road right now. Christopher McCullough brings it on the pit road. Along with Stephen Miles, Dylan Besson stays out there, and he's going to bring it in this time. As Chris Melton and Tyler Vickery are out on the racetrack. Pete Dillon also out there, but the leader has come in. We're on board with him coming down there through off of the front stretch. Chris Melton there in second. In at number 52. He goes around, he gets around Dylan Bassinet, Dylan Mason. Take the lead for a split moment. Dylan Bassett's taking off pit road. Chris Melton now coming out here. Is he coming into pit road this time? And yeah, he is. Tyler Vickery there in second. Going to come up here around Chris Melton. He's going to get credit for leading the lap. Lap number 73 of 125 on the board. Slowly ticking away here with the laps. As you see, there's that 8 of Steve Sizemore. Right behind him, that 48 of Cameron Craighead. Everybody works there off the corner. Dylan Basson there in second. Stephen Miles there in third. Kyler Vickery coming there on pit road this time. Along with Kenneth McCollum, Chris Melton also coming back, or leaving pit road rather. Coming here off the corner. Back up here towards the front. All right, on lap number 78 here, down through off the corner. I see Dylan Mason there in front, fading away, as he's done so for quite a while now. Stephen Miles there in second. All our big movers have kind of fallen back. Tyler Vickery back here in ninth, Chris Ramsey in 10th. Freddie Bassinez is back here in sixth once again, with Alex Hill in fifth. Cameron Craighead up in the fourth. And we head on down here out into corner number one. Lap number 79 on the board. Christopher McCollum. Now we're on board with Vincent Giroux. Now Drew works out here in the corner number 3 and 4, working out there. Now Osborne's out here working down there on the bottom side. He's got that number 99 of John Darnell up there on the top side as he tries to put that 41 down on the inside. Working really, really well here. Down there on the inside goes that 41. Going to see if he can clear Darnell off of the corner. Which he does. Now we got drivers. We only got 7 drivers on the lead lap right now. Those drivers being Dylan Mason, Stephen Miles, Kyler Wynn, Cameron Craighead, Freddie Bassinez, and Dylan Jones. Everybody out being a lap down here. As that 77 of Alex Hill, he's coming around, or trying to come around there. It looks like the 020 put him a lap down here. So Alex Hill now a lap down. Dylan Jones now in danger of going a lap down here. So now we're down to 5. Now down to 5 cars on the lead lap. As he coming up here on Freddie Bassinez now. what a night here for Dylan as he's working around here off the top, down here, and across the bottom now of the front stretch. He's got that 11 really working here tonight, or 020, whatever you want to look at down there as he goes underneath the 51 of Cameron Craighead. Cameron Craighead out there going down the backstretch. In through turn 3 and 4. In at number 48. As he is trying to stay on the lead lap. So there you see him in the number 48. And then Dylan Basin back here coming across the start finish line. He's getting up there to the 8, who's already a lap down. Now you see he makes room there. Dylan Basin going around there on the bottom side. Now we're getting here underneath the 000 of Jeffrey Morrison. Cameron Craighead here in 4th. There's Cameron Craighead coming there out of turn number 4. And here comes Dylan Basin out of turn number 4. Lap 85 on the board, 84 in the books. As we're watching them all come around here, Kyler Wynn there in 3rd now. Stephen Miles there in 2nd. Kyler Wynn and Craighead trying to figure out who's going to be in that spot. But I think Craighead's a little bit farther back than Kyler Wynn. And we're on board with Kyler Wynn now coming there through off the start-finish line. As Freddie Bassinez back there in 5th. Dylan Jones there in 6th. These drivers battling it out for that 5th and 6th position. Right now, nobody's really got anything going on as Dylan Bason's out front, closing the gap on the lead lap cars. He's got quite the gap here tonight. See, there's that 58 machine, not that far ahead of him. He's only just in front of that lap down machine. That's the 41. Jeremy Osborne. And Jeremy Osborne looks like he's wanting to go down there below. He gets out of the way of the leader as he gets down there, and it looks like the leader's going to stay up there on the high side, rolling it on through. Now he's going to have to figure out which way that 48 machine's going to go. He dives down, and oh boy, hang on to it. As Cameron Craighead now goes lap down. So now we only have the top 3 on the lead lap. Kyler Wynn out here coming here off of turn number 2. Going down the backstretch. Dylan Basin, he's working down there down through the backstretch as well. So as you see on the scoreboard, or on the ticker there, the 020 and in the 82, that's the gap we're watching here. We've got lap 88 on the board. Stephen Miles in the number 24. He's pretty safe running there on the backstretch as he enters turn number 3 right now. But Kyler Wynn, he could be in jeopardy of going a lap down with the run that Dylan Basin is having here tonight. Danny Barnez, he's sitting back here in 11th position, way down there on the inside as we see Grass and that coming off of that machine. 90 laps, working on 90 laps, soon to be complete here. We got 3 trucks on the lead lap, as we said. Dylan Basin, Stephen Miles, and Kyler Wynn. And my question is, how long is Kyler Wynn going to stay on that lead lap as they work here out of turn number 4? You got the 14 and the 7 running together there. As you see, Vincent Carew and Danny Barnez. Danny Barnez trying to stay ahead of Vincent. And there you see creeping into the picture back there. That's that 11020 machine of Dylan Basin. He creeps in here. Somebody's really laid down some railroad tracks for that 20 machine, or that 020, 11, whatever you want to call it, there of Dylan Basin. And he is just freight training it around the top of the racetrack here right now, down here through, running down there, down to the bottom side. Down here towards corner number 1, and we're there watching Vincent Carew working on down through here, trying to see what the best action is. We're not really seeing anything here. We've got Tyler Vickery in at 124. There you see Dylan Bassinet going underneath. He's going to take that spot away. Now that just puts one truck between Kyler Wynn and Dylan Bassett. And that is the 7 machine of Dylan Bassinet. Or, I'm sorry, Danny Barnett. Hey, that leader really has put on a show here tonight. Working here off the corner, lap 93 of 125. Now complete as they come across the line. You know, Dylan, you might be able to just to take it a little easier here these last few laps. Might not have to push as hard. As you got almost, you only got really one truck to worry about. Everybody else is pretty much a lap behind you. And that's the 24 who's up here on the front stretch right now, coming across the line. And Bass has put some time between them. That 24 has lost ground. Now we got trucks making pit stops here for the final stretch. Freddie Bassinet in the pit road. Vincent Garou, they're also coming to pit road. Chris Ramsey coming in. Jerome Osborne, he's back here towards the back. Trying to see who's all pitted. We got Dylan Jones has. Alex Hill's pitted 3 times. Kramer and Craighead has pitted 3 times. Oh, that's going to hand things over. Looks like Stephen Miles is in pit road. That's going to hand that over. Possibly letting him go a lap down to Dylan Basin. Basin here comes out of corner number 4. He's down there on the inside. He's going to take it another lap here. Caution is out. Freddie Bassinet has crashed. What's the matter there, Scott McLean? Now we see that 51 getting a little loose there, ends up coming around, ends up all the way around here. We lost the rest of the video. Now you see me? That's not the way to exit the pits there, Freddie. You don't want to be drifting it around corner number 1. It comes up there off the apron, ends up getting hooked there, and then it just swings it back the other way. Can't quite get it straightened out. And then, like we said, it disappears there. Not sure what all went on. I see him finishing out there. Out here towards car number 1. Lights are on the pace car. First caution of the night. Everybody doing a great job. What a night for Dylan. Stephen Miles getting up there back on the lead lap, it looks like. Kyler Wynn down here on the pits. No. I'm sorry. Chris Melton stays on the lead lap thanks to the caution. He comes down into the pits now. I think Dylan's trying to save a little bit on fuel. We'll see if he comes in this time. Well, we really only have 2 cars that are on the lead lap in a position to try to battle him, and that is Kyler Wynn and Chris Melton. Chris Melton currently in the pits getting some service done. I don't know if Dylan really wanted to see that caution come out. Kyler Wynn way back here towards the back. Now he's getting waved up through. Chris Melton coming off a pit road. He's going to get caught up as they go side by side here. Should be exciting here as Melton brings it back up there towards the front. Hopefully get caught back up here. Question is, does Dylan Basin have enough fuel to make it to the end? He's currently sitting out there on pole right now as the control car. It looks like Melton's going to be stuck here towards the back of the pack as they're coming here to the green flag. So Kyler Wynn up there in second, but I don't know if he's got anything for this 11 or not of Dylan Basin. As Bason's just been on a set of rails here. Lights are off on the track. Going to get these race trucks back going green. Down here toward turn number 1. Green flag soon to be back in the air for the Roughneck Madness Money Series here tonight, this Friday evening. Green flag is out there, down and away. Here we go. Everybody's trying to find that position they want as they work here out of the corner. We got Dylan Basin now getting off into a great shot. There we got a couple of them trying to fight the bottom lane. Then they come here into corner number 1, 3 wide there out front. Kyler Wynn now back down there on the inside as he's going to try to get up there beside Dylan Basin to fight for that lead. Coming here off the corner. What a move there by Kyler Wynn as he gets out. Well, no, I'm sorry, no. Kyler Wynn is not out front. That's the other machine. That is a lap down truck. And now Kyler Wynn is 3 wide with the leader coming here off the corner. We got the 77 and the 14, both out front of the pack right now. Just trying to hang on to what little bit they can. That's going to definitely make it interesting here with 25 laps to go for the leaders. And they try to head off here. Here comes that 58 machine / 48, who's a lap down as well. He's trying to gain a lap back. And I'm trying to see what spot he's in, as he looks like he's in position number 9. Kyler Wynn does get around Dylan Basin. Basin back up a little bit as those lap down drivers try to fight it out for position. Steven Miles now back on the lead lap, just sitting here out in front of the leaders. Kyler Wynn out there, 24 laps to go. Dylan Basin out there trying just to see what he can do. I'm a little worried for him as I didn't see him come in for another pit stop. I think everybody else has. And Melton, he's trying to come up through the field a little bit, sitting back here towards the back. Slow goings for him, but currently sitting there in third. There you see the 82 of Kyler Wynn out front. He was a lap down here, I think, at some point during the race. So great job getting that lap back up here in the position to try to battle it out. And now everybody else comes here around Basin as Basin ends up falling back a little bit here off the pace since everybody else has fresher tires than what he does. Down here off the corner. So we're getting a few drivers that are possibly getting lapped back. But with Kyler Wynn out front there, not sure who's all able to get them back here. 22 laps to go. Head down here into corner number 1 once again. Kyler Wynn is your leader. Steven Miles back here in 4th. Sterling Thies back here in 5th. Chris Ramsey back here in 6th. Alex Hill there in 7th. They got a few drivers that can battle it out for position here. In the likes of Sterling Thies, you got the 11 there. Trying to hang on to a lead lap. You got the 04 there as well. They try to get it on through there. Stephen Miles down there in fourth, your last car on the lead lap. Then you got drivers that are 1 lap down to 2 laps down following that. 20 laps to go as they roll through corner number 1 and 2, back out onto that backstretch. The 13 of Chris Ramsey there in 6th. Alex Hill there in 7th. Cameron Craighead there now in 9th as Tyler Vickery gets up there into 7th. Going here off the front tri-oval down across the stripe. Everybody's trying to hang on here for the last little bit they can. 19 laps to go. Dylan Mason had the truck to beat. That caution come out not quite the way he wanted it to, but he's gaining ground on Kyler Wynn. And come down the backstretch. So I wonder if Wynn is a little nervous there. And he got Dylan Mason working there behind him. Working off the corner. So Mason might not have a short run truck, but more so a long run. And we definitely saw him putting down the pace here. And now he's got the 52 there underneath him with Chris Melton. Chris Melton trying to fight for that second spot and does so down there on the inside. Chris Melton now drops Dylan Mason back in the 3rd. Stephen Miles sitting in 4th as they roll here off of the corner. Chris Melton, what a move for him. Really, he did a great job coming up through the pack. Looks like Dylan Mason rolling down there on the apron, right, and down there on the pit road. Chris Melton up there in the 2nd as he chases down Kyler Wynn. Melton up 6 spots from where he started the race, but had to fight through a good portion of the pack to get back up here and battle along here for the 2nd place position. Now fighting for it first. Now he rolls here out of corner number 3. Dylan Mason rolls there off pit road. Kyler Wynn comes around, and what a turn of events. Dylan Mason goes from being almost a lap ahead to being a lap behind Kyler Wynn and Chris Melton. 16 laps to go. Kyler Wynn there out front. Chris Melton battling up there through lap traffic, trying to get up there to battle Kyler Wynn, but between him and Wynn is the 63 of Pete Dillon. Pete Dillon up 11 spots from where he started, so really for him, I know he's battled hard here in 13th position right now, but I'd still take tonight as a win. Vickery up here on the outside of that 124, up 6 spots. Christopher McAuliffe, another one that had a really good night going for him. He's up 12 spots as well as Pete Dillon. They work there off of turn number 1 and 2 down that backstretch. 14 laps to go here at Kentucky for the Roughneck Madness Money Series this Friday evening. And you see that 11 of Dylan Jones getting around McAuliffe. Jeffrey Morrison back here in 11th. Pete Dillon there in 12th. Chris Melton, what a night. Up here in 2nd. Now we're trying to find the battles going on the speedway. See who's passing who. Dylan Mason. Man, what a night. Go from leading that far ahead to being a lap down there towards the end of the race. Man, oh man, what a turn of events for Dylan. Dylan Jones back here in 10th. And he works there off of corner number 1 and 2. Or working down into corner number 1 and 2, rather. Working off of 3 and 4. He's there. Got Christopher McAuliffe there in front of him. Christopher McAuliffe, he's had an up and down night as well. He was up there towards the front. Now he finds himself back here in 9th. But nonetheless, what a great night. Tyler Vickery pulls it on the pit lane, surrendering some positions. Final down here through off the corner. Tyler Wynn, Chris Melton. Now we see that Chris Melton got around to 63, setting his sights on Kyler Wynn. There's nobody between them as they work down through off of turn number 2. Third place driver is Stephen Miles, who's back here through the pack a little bit. Oh, Chad, he's leading the pack around, but sitting in third. The drivers try to do what they can here. 10 laps to go. Rolling here out of four, down into corner number 1. You see that 17 there. He's doing a great job as well. That's Sterling Thies. He's getting underneath there of Dylan Jones. And Dylan Jones a lap down to him down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Just kind of holding on there as a head in the 3 and 4. Not really getting too much of a strong head to push around him. He knows he's ahead. He'll get a moment to get around him when he can. But for the moment, he's just happy kind of rolling there behind Dylan Jones. He knows the next guy is Chris Ramsey, who's going to get up there and try to pass it as well. 9 laps to go. Okay, coming here through turn 3 and 4. The 7 there on pit road. That's Danny Barnett's coming to pit road now. As Chris Melton just trying to hang on there for second. Stephen Miles back here in third. Sterling Thies in fourth. Got to find at some point a way to get around Jones as Ramsey's slowly gaining on them, I would think. 8 laps to go as the 3 goes across the 03 rather of Kenneth McCullough goes across start finish line down into corner number 1. Alex Hill back here in 7th. Cameron Craighead in 8th. So Vickery having issues here. We don't see any time there for Vickery. Do we even have Vickery out on track? I'm going to say possibly not, as John Darnell is the last one that I can actually pull a camera view for. Tyler Vickery most likely done in the race tonight with 7 laps to go here in Kentucky for the Roughneck Racing Money Madness, or Madness Money, however you want to say it, here tonight. I'm sorry, there is Barnes. We're sorry to hear about that, Vickery. Sterling Thies here in 4th, Chris Ramsey in 5th. Dylan Mason there in 6th. Dylan Barnes down there on pit road. Sterling Thies there in 4th, Chris Ramsey there in 5th. Dylan Mason there in 6th. Chris Ramsey down across the start-finish line and in 13th, or in the number 13, sitting in 5th. Chris Melton up here in 2nd. Stephen Miles here in 3rd. 4 laps to go. They come rolling here off of turn number 2 down that back straightaway into corner number 3. At 24, hanging out there, kind of leading the pack along. We got Chris Melton and Kyler Wynn. Kyler Wynn coming up here into lap traffic once again. Will that be a factor for Chris Melton to get up here with 3 laps to go? For Chris Melton get that little bit of a hiccup that he needs. As Kyler Wynn is back up here, 2-lap traffic. Down that back straightaway. There might not be enough. That might be your finishing order. With Chris Melton there in 2nd. Now we'll see coming here off the corner. All right, here off of corner number 2 corner number 2 down that back straightaway. Kyler Wynn out front, Chris Melton there in 2nd. Stephen Miles kind of leading the pack around here, but sitting there in 3rd. I would see Kyler Wynn coming there off the corner. He got around to 17, so that's going to pretty much really secure it here for Kyler Wynn to get the win here tonight. And they head down here in quarter number 1. Chris Belton there in second. Stephen Miles there third. They're heading on back through. Sterling Thies there in fourth. Chris Ramsey in fifth. Dylan Basin back here in sixth. Alex Hill in seventh. Some drivers just not having a night they were hoping for, like the likes of Freddie Bassinez, Danny Barnes. We know Victory didn't quite have the night they were wanting. James Wagner coming across in 11th. There's Kyler Wynn. Gets the win here tonight. Coming down there in corner number 1 for the victory celebration. Chris Melton there in second. They head around here. Kyler Wynn, is he? He's coming around. Great racing here. They head on down through there. See if anybody jumps in or not. All right, race results. They're going to be Kyler Wynn for the win. Chris Belton there in second. Stephen Miles there in third. Sterling Thies there in fourth. Chris Ramsey fifth. Dylan Basin there in sixth. Alex Hill there seventh. Cameron Craighead there in eighth. Christopher McCollum in ninth. Dylan Jones in 10th. James Wagner 11th. Jeffrey Morrison 12th. Pete Dillon there 13th. Steve Sidemore in 14th. Kenneth McCullough there in 15th. Vincent Guru there in 16th. Jerome Osborne, he'll finish tonight in 16th. Jeremy Osborne in 17th. 18th going to Mark Wandell. John Darnell there in 19th. Tyler Vickery there in 20th. Danny Barnes there in 21st. Freddie Bassinez there in 22nd. Nicholas Warner there in 23rd. Hunter Hastings 24th. That is your field here tonight. And what a great night here for the leaders. Thank you, Corey, for the subscription. And looks like I'm not sure. Alrighty, Chris Mountain here, second place. Kyler Wynn, first place. All right, we'll start with second place here. Good evening, Chris. How's it going?
All right, buddy.
Well, you had a great night here. Kind of got saved by that late race caution.
Hell yeah. I mean, I was really running 8th place, and I was actually going to go pit the next lap right before the caution came out, and it just fell my way. I was in 3rd and got the lucky dog, and it just kind of fell into my lap.
Yeah, we know Basin pretty much had a good rail going on there for quite a bit of the race.
Yeah, he was lights out, just domination.
So, but you have second place here tonight, and must feel pretty good with the competition that was out there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. These guys are no joke. So if you can finish, I feel like you finish in the top 10, you've done something.
Well, congrats there for the second place finish. You got sponsors, shout-outs you want to give here tonight for helping you get onto that podium?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammates. I'd like to thank Wagner's Welding for everything he does for us. Makes everything work around here. Doug for all the hard work, and just a great broadcast, and we appreciate everything.
All right, it was definitely fun to watch here tonight for sure.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
All right, well, we'll see you around, Chris. You take it easy.
All right, you buddy. Thanks.
All right, that was Chris Melton. Now we'll get with Miles, our third place finisher. Good evening there, Stephen. How's it going?
How you doing? I'm doing good.
Well, you unfortunately were leading the pack these last few laps. Just unfortunate there that you didn't quite have what it takes to get up there to try to battle for another spot.
Um, yeah, I was unfortunate there. Just the strategy of having two sets of tires right there. I was leading the first run, and then I knew Dylan had a good pace, and we both took tires, and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to pass him if I took another set, just how far he was. So I ended up not taking those tires the second set, and got behind the 8 ball with him, and I knew I had to pit early and try to get the most laps I can out of my fresh tires and try to catch him because I know he ain't having a set. And man, I just pitted one lap too early. Man, got caught on pit road and got caught a lap down, and he stayed out, so we couldn't get our lap back. So I mean, that pretty much did my race right then. Felt like we had, if not a winning truck, second place, and unfortunately we were just lucky to come up third.
Hey, you definitely looked good out there. Just not, like I said, unfortunate there that circumstances didn't quite work in your favor, but some of it did. I mean, you could have been caught more laps down if it wasn't for that late caution.
Nah, I don't think so. I was second place. I feel like I wasn't going no more laps now. I mean, I feel like Dylan would got some tires, or I mean, he didn't have tires. If he would have pitted, I feel like I was in second place. Because everybody else was pretty much way behind than I was, so it was pretty much a top two truck race. But it is what it is, man. Luck fell for Kyler, and the strategy he pulled, and he deserved his victory.
It was fun to watch there coming towards the end, and great night for the for the third place, and hopefully you get something out of it.
Yeah, I did. I learned how to kind of run Kentucky. I never really ran this racetrack, but I learned some things. But that's all you can do is just learn and keep moving and try to get better.
All right, you got any other sponsors or shout-outs you want to give here tonight?
Oh, I just want to shout out my teammate Kyler for getting the win. Shout out for you doing an excellent job with these broadcasts, man, coming on board. Appreciate James Wagner for doing all he does for the community and having this league and having these guys in here race, and to have just one caution out of this 125 lap race speak for itself. So shout out to the drivers and my mom and dad, and most of all God, man. I appreciate that, and that'll be it.
All righty, well, congrats again on third place, and hopefully we can improve here as the season goes on.
Appreciate it.
You have yourself a great night.
You too.
All right, good evening there, Kyler. How's it going?
What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot. You're probably very thankful for that late race caution.
Yeah, thankful to say the least. It turned into a tire lottery there. I didn't take tires until I had a feeling we were gonna get a yellow, so I decided to stay out and tire set in the box. It worked out.
Were you worried at all about Dylan there for the restart, or did you kind of had it figured out that with him staying out, he wasn't going to be able to make it to the end?
Well, yeah, and he didn't have any tires left, so we had 2 tires in the box the entire race. Dylan opted to take both of them on his first 2 pit stops, which would have worked out for him. He would have won by like half a lap or a lap even if it had went green. But we got a late yellow there. That's what I was hoping for, a late yellow, because I knew, I had a gut feeling that it wasn't going to quite go green, so I saved the tire set for the yellow. The yellow came out, put the tires on, went out there and ripped.
The strategy definitely played out for the way the race did tonight, but it's always you just never know how the races can go. I mean, you could get that late race caution, or you might not. It's always interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if I necessarily like it. It's kind of like a tire lottery, but obviously it worked out in my favor. I don't mind it. It could easily go the other way, and so I hope we do get more tire sets. I think it makes the racing just better overall, but I don't mind it tonight.
All righty, well, congrats for getting the victory here tonight. And I know we
Yeah.
always thank James Wagner's Welding for everything they do. And who else you want to thank here tonight for helping you get in that podium position?
Yeah, just James Wagner and Wagner's Welding, like you said, they do a ton for this community. I really appreciate them. Factory setups on the car, and you for broadcasting.
All right, well, it's my pleasure, and hopefully the broadcast looks good. I'm noticing a couple things that might need a little changing here and there, but all in all, should be a great race for you guys to watch back and for you to get. And I know you'll really enjoy it, knowing that you got the win.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, brother.
All right, well, you have yourself a great night, and enjoy that victory tonight in the Madness Money Series.
Thank you.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up here tonight for the Roughneck Racing Madness Money Series, and hopefully everybody enjoyed the racing. And us here at Flicker Farm TV really enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll see what is held in store for us as we go forward. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a great night.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagner Welding. Wagner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down.